Let's welcome Adrianna to the morning show. Now, Adrianna is the mother of an adorable 4-month-old boy named Landyn. And today, Adrianna sits here in one of the most difficult situations a mother could ever be in. Because Adrianna's not sure if her current boyfriend, David, or his best friend, Tim, is Landyn's father. You see, during a short break in her relationship with David, Adrianna briefly dated Tim. And when she reunited with David, that's when she discovered she was pregnant. This is her story.
All my life, I've wanted to be a mother. I even suffered 4 miscarriages in the process of trying. I am so happy that it finally happened, but I never knew that it would come at such a price. Around the time I got pregnant, my boyfriend David and I, we were on a break. And during that same time is when I slept with Tim. Even though I was with Tim as well, I have always believed David is my son Landyn's father. After I had my son Landyn, David and I had got back together, and he's the one that's been raising him. David is an amazing father, and I love him so much. David never asked for a DNA test until 2 months ago. And it was all because Tim opened his big mouth and started going around town saying that Landyn looked like him. David told me that if Landyn is not his, he's gonna leave.
Okay. So who do you believe is Landyn's father?
Maury, I believe David is my son's father. He's been there from day one. Tim's done nothing for him.
What's he done that Tim hasn't?
David was there at the birth. He's been there throughout the pregnancy. He even cut the umbilical cord. Tim's a deadbeat.
And Tim didn't say anything about this, then all of a sudden he says that he could be the father?
Yeah, he's been going around town bragging, saying that Landyn looks like him. And
who do you think Landyn looks like?
Look at this, Maury. He's got David's nose, his eyes, his forehead, his hairline, his mouth. He looks nothing like Tim. Nothing.
Everybody's got to understand this, because it's not like Tim stepped in, you know, and cut David out of this. You and David were going together, you broke up. He suggested, why don't you date my friend Tim? Is that right?
Yeah, Maury, it is right. He said, Adrianna, I have somebody that you should try get with.
I mean, when you all broke, you didn't think you would get back together, right?
No, I didn't really think that we'd get back together because he was with someone else too.
So then you started dating Tim, right?
Yes.
Okay, for how long?
It was like a couple of months, actually.
Couple of months. How did you and David get back together?
After my son was born, in the hospital. We got back together.
Who was there for the pregnancy?
David. David went to doctor's appointments. David went and made sure that I ate. David made sure I was through everything.
So in other words, you all weren't together when you were pregnant. He was just there for the baby. Is that right?
Yes, Maury.
He thought he was the father?
Yeah, he
during
believed
your
that
pregnancy.
he believed he was the father up until 2 months ago.
So he didn't want any DNA tests, did he?
No. He didn't, not until Tim wanted to go around saying that Landyn looked like him.
Well, guess what? We're going to meet David, who you're currently with, right? And he's raising this as his son. We're going to meet him a little bit. But first, I want to meet the guy who created this ruckus. Here is Tim. Tim, come on out. Tim, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Maury.
Okay, when did you decide that you could be the father?
She messaged me on Mother's Day and told me to come over, and that's when I noticed she was pregnant. She never told me when she found out she was even pregnant.
That's a lie! I told you the second I found out after I told David! Yes, I did.
No,
but why did you say nothing until a couple of months ago?
I've been around longer than 2 months. I've been around off and on the whole time. Back around the time she had the baby, I was at the house living with them the day before she had the baby until I got thrown out.
You think that child looks like you or David?
Yes, it looks like me. I got the blonde hair and the blue eyes. David has brown hair and hazel eyes.
I was born too.
Why didn't you go to the hospital when he was born?
Because I was 4 hours up north of Indiana. I was an hour north of Indianapolis. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a vehicle or anything.
Have you met Landyn?
Yes. I met him a month after he was born.
I see.
2 months after. 2 months
It was
after.
a month.
2 months
It was
after
a
my
month.
son was born.
It was a month because he came to my
2
baby
months.
mama's house in Indiana and
2
stayed.
months.
Thank you very much.
2
Tim,
months.
Tim, if you think this is your child, why haven't you helped out financially?
I have helped financially. It just
No,
hasn't
you
been physically
haven't.
out of my pocket.
Where are the
I helped
diapers?
David.
Where is the
I helped
formula?
David work
Where's
on all his
everything he
vehicles so he
needs?
don't have to pay
Clothing.
nobody to work on them. I don't charge
What
David
does that
nothing to
have to
do
do with
nothing
my
for
son?
him.
Is you
Period.
helping David with
Because he
my
spends all his money on you. You're the reason why he's broke all the time. You're the reason why he's broke all the time.
But Tim,
Me?
Tim,
Okay.
as I hear tell, you really don't want to be the father. You want David to be the father, don't you?
I really would like to see David to be the father because he's been trying for 18 years to have a kid.
David is the father of my son. David will always be
Regardless of who the
of
father
my
is,
son.
the baby's always going to have 2 fathers. If I'm the father, he's still going to be a father.
You're
if he's
a
the father, I'm
deadbeat.
still going to be the father.
Deadbeat.
Everybody, here's Adrianna's boyfriend, David. David, come on out.
That is my son! Come on! This is my son! Hey! Yeah, mine! Maury! See that? You got, hey, this is precious right here, okay? You get precious, you got precious.
Here's the problem. I just want to... You've been trying to have a child for a long time, right?
Long time.
So, in other words, this would be your miracle child.
Oh, yes, Maury.
He's a miracle as it is.
You had all those miscarriages? He's never been able to have a child?
He's our miracle baby.
Okay. So I got the story straight that you all broke up and you introduced the 2 of them together. You said they might be a match and things like that, and that didn't work out, and now you're back together.
Yes.
But what happened when she told you she was pregnant?
I was happy. I mean,
You all weren't back together, but
we wasn't back together, no. But I was so happy though.
and you helped her during the pregnancy?
All the way. Through everything. Made sure she was at doctor's appointments, made sure she had this and that. And she, I fed her, no matter what she needed.
And then you didn't decide to get back into a relationship with her until the baby was born.
Right, because the baby needed a father, a baby needs a family. In my heart, that's what needed to happen.
You're not upset at Tim, or you are?
I am.
Why?
Because he wants to sit here one day and say, oh, I'm the kid's dad. The next day, oh, I'm not the kid's dad. That ain't a father.
Deadbeat is what you
That's not the way it works.
That is the way it works.
Yes, it is.
You can't want to be in the child's life and then not want to be
Well,
there.
you got to let me be there.
You bonded with that little boy.
Oh, yes.
He knows David as daddy.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen, David, if I read the wrong answer?
It's going to tear our family up.
You going to break up?
I can't do that.
Can't raise another man's child?
As far as that, Landyn will still be mine. I mean, no matter what the DNA says, Landyn's still going to be mine.
Well, let's get the results right now. When it comes to 4-month-old Landyn, Tim, you are not the father.
Told you.
So he looks like me.
So when it comes to 4-month-old Landyn, David, you are not the father. Adrianna, I thought there couldn't be another possibility.
I didn't think there was, Maury.
Do you know who it is?
I could probably take a wild guess.
If you want to bring him on to be tested, we'll be glad to, okay? Where's David? David! You want to say anything to David?
After 6 years, David, 6 years, you're gonna now just break up our family? 6 years!
It doesn't matter, Adrian. I don't care. I have a ring for you today, but you know what? You can take it and marry him now.
I don't want her.
Anyone on this stage you can have. I don't want it. This is done. We're done. We're done. We are over.
You are not the father.